then game share, then Volun reach, and then Upnia. Hey, Ellie. Then game share, then Volun reach, and then Upnia. Oops. That's YouTube. All right. Great. I'm going to get started then. It's over here. All right. Can everyone see my screen okay? Yes? All right. Good. Let's move this over here. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining our TYE final competition. This is a very exciting time for us. We've worked very hard. The students have been working really hard for this final day. And then we're going to, obviously, the winner will get to go to the global competition and try out for the final prize of $10,000. So this is very exciting. Thanks everyone for joining. We've had a lot of sessions, 13 workshops. We've had more than 12 leaders come through here and share their knowledge with us. Anything from presentation skills to finance to business development to creating your business plan, even legal we went through, right? So it's been an amazing ride. This is our 10th year doing this. I wanted to invite Vic as well to speak to. He is the founding chair of TYE. He's done this every single year for 10 years. So I'll give the floor to Vic as well to say hello.
Well, thank you, man. 10 years is a long time, and it's amazing how mentoring young entrepreneurs keeps me, youthful. It also connects and builds a community of entrepreneurs and an entrepreneur way of thinking. So our goal here is to provide a life experience to the kids and the students. And we've succeeded in that way over and over across the years. In the last 9 years that we ran the program, this is our 10th year, so 9 years, we've gone to the Globals and we've won 3 times, which is pretty unprecedented. So we're doing something right in Vancouver. And this is a pure volunteer effort from the entrepreneurial community. And there's something really cool about that. And that is you get real, genuine, and authentic entrepreneurs coming in and volunteering their time to teach and foster entrepreneurship amongst the youth. And that builds immense relationships within the entrepreneur community too. So entrepreneurship and mentoring, I would say, is a two-way street. When you mentor somebody, you end up learning as well. So students, I want to thank you for teaching us too. We learn from you. It's a two-way street. So it's a massive amount of appreciation. Another thing I'm really, really amazed about, and this is as time goes by, so as we enter our 10th year, is the alumni coming back and the alumni stories of their connections and of some of their entrepreneurship and some of their volunteerism to come back and play parts in the TYE program. So we want all the students here to stay engaged, because it's important to look at this as a life experience that doesn't end right now. The entrepreneur way of thinking will help you in your entire lives, and that's our gift, and our want and our desire is for you guys to have that entrepreneur way of thinking and apply it to everything that you guys do. Be fearless, make connections, and maximize your opportunities. A special thank you to Heman, Liju, Aditya, who ran the 10th program this year. And it's a tremendous amount of work and effort. Heman, your attendance has been absolutely amazing with your young family. It is such a massive undertaking of hours and hours and moderating and being there. And sometimes, it's tough. And this year has been tough in the sense that we haven't been meeting like, in person. So imagine forming teams and doing a lot of the interpersonal communications through a virtual setting. So this is the first year we ever had to form teams virtually, and that took a little bit of trial and tribulations, but we made it through. And I want to thank the students again for helping that, and for connecting virtually. This is something that is actually a pretty big thing that we've done and accomplished. And judges, thank you for being here. It is great to have you. Some of you guys are brand new to TYE, which is super awesome, because we definitely want you guys to take a look at what we do, and to help the program in the future as well. And great to see some people returning. So back to Heman. Thank you so much, Heman. Thank you, Liju. Thank you, judges, and thank you, students.
Thanks, Vic. I echo that. It's amazing how much we learn in this whole 13, 14 weeks that we spend on this. It's a pleasure. I'm happy to do it. I feel like I said, I'm learning a lot, and I'm happy to give back as well. And hopefully, this gets you to volunteer more as well of your time, right? Because at the end of the day, if we don't share our knowledge, we won't grow as people. So I wanted to thank the students as well for all their hard work. We've come a long way. There have been some challenges. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you guys all came through, and we formed these amazing teams, and we're able to do all this virtually. So I'm hoping next year we're going to go into a real world office environment with the beautiful Fasken Martineau views of the water and downtown. That in itself is an amazing experience. So help us spread the word. The registration is now open for next year. So I'm counting all the students to tweet this out, Facebook. Actually, you guys don't use Twitter. Probably Instagram this out, and get your fellow students and your siblings to join this program in the future. We love doing this, and we will continue doing this. So make sure you help us spread the word. All right. So before I introduce the judges, I wanted to let you know what the agenda is. We're going to start our first team presentation at 10:30. I believe I said Yes is going first. And then, Cohen's going to go first at 10:20. And then the first team's going to go at 10:30. We'll take 5-minute breaks. The judges will fill out the form, and it's live scoring. So by the time we get to the fourth team, the judges will have submitted their scoring, and then we will then be able to announce the winner. All right. So let's get started. Gautam, thank you so much for joining us. This is your first year. I believe this is your first year joining us. you're an amazing entrepreneur in our Vancouver landscape. I just wanted you to please come on board and maybe introduce yourself a little bit and tell us what you're looking forward to today.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Heman, and then nice to see you, Vic. Nice to see you, Luke, and nice to see all you students. It's very exciting for me to be here. I'll tell you something. I started my first company when I was in grade 11. Call it a company, and I did many after that. And you try something else, and then you realize you're an entrepreneur, and that's just your DNA. So I'm really excited to see what all of you are going to be presenting today. It'll be really cool for me to see it. Entrepreneurship, as I've been doing it, over the years, I've met many people, young and older, and I think what I find the most interesting is their desire to make some change, and change the world, and do whatever they feel that they're very passionate about, that they can actually make an impact, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing today. I do a couple more things. I do run a company that helps entrepreneurs launch new digital products. And we do hire third year, fourth year university students on a regular basis. So keep us in mind as you guys move up your careers and you get into university and all that. So so very excited to spend some time with you guys and see what you've created.
Great. Well, thanks, Gautam. And guys, remember, students, Gautam just offered that you can apply for his company in 3-4 years. So don't forget to add him to LinkedIn. We've talked about this. You got to start networking now. All right. Thanks, Gautam. Luke Olin, my friend, my coworker from back in the day. I've had the pleasure of working with Luke for many years at Phoronix, and then he went off and started his own company. Luke, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Evan. Great to be here. Great to see you, Vic, and Gautam. Great to see you as well. Good morning, everyone. Actually, like Gautam, I was reminded by my dad at my company's my current company, Our Town's second annual retreat, that I was selling things as young as I think 13 years old in school to schoolmates, and later had my own sort of little mini business in university when I was 19 years old. So the entrepreneurial bug was definitely instilled in me at a young age. Worked with Vic and He-Man at Phoronix, and so I've also been worked for a company, so as an employee, and had that experience. But was very grateful to find mentorship in Vic, and I think a lot of freedom given to me in that company, where I got to kind of carve out what I felt like was my own path and my own area. So was learned about that experience later as it being defined as being an intrapreneur, so someone inside a company working to create new opportunities. And I think Gautam hit the nail on the head. Like, that entrepreneurial spirit can be found in your own companies or in companies you go and work for. And I think the root of it is in looking at how things can be done better, where impact can be made for the positive, where there's a need, an unmet need that if you put your creativity and ingenuity to work, you can pull a team around you, even inside a company, and create something new that adds value for everyone. So I took that experience into starting my own company again, and I've been running a digital agency for the last 8 years out of Vancouver, but we have employees all over the country and soon the world as we move into this kind of work from home world. So I'm really grateful to be here. I'd be remiss not to say as well that Our Town is often hiring. We serve entrepreneurs and help them with lead generation and e-commerce, all kinds of fun work leveraging the internet to support the dreams of other entrepreneurs. So would be more than happy to hear from any students in the future. My line's wide open. So thanks for having me. Excited to see what comes up today.
Awesome. Well, thanks very much, Luke. Appreciate it. Sagar actually came to us as a speaker last year. We have this, we used to do a lot of speakers who used to come in after the workshops, but because we went live, we try to reduce it because people have online fatigue. But Sagar is the CEO and founder of Switchboard, an amazing logistics company. If you can please introduce us, Sagar.
For sure. Thanks for the intro. Yeah, I think so Switchboard actually has been through the TiE system. We finished in the top 3 in TiE Quest, I think 3 or 4 years ago. So we are a testament to, I guess, the process and working through the different steps. And, so since then, again, co-founder of Switchboard. I'm also a venture partner at Y Combinator Alumni Fund. So, we evaluate seed stage startups all the time, and we're always, looking for the new up and coming idea. And we invest in a lot of young entrepreneurs. And I'm also helping with growth at a company called Juniper, where we help make merchandise for the world's top influencers. I think overall, I'm just really excited to hear from, all the new young ideas. I think there's a lot of insights that us older folks don't really have. And, time and time again, the incumbents are always disrupted by the young, new, fresh ideas. So really looking forward to the creativity of the new generation of entrepreneurs and, seeing what everyone's been up to. And again, my line is open as well. If, anyone's interested in elevating their business to the next level, trying to figure out how to raise money for their company, more than happy to walk through that.
Great. Appreciate it. Thanks, Sagar. Appreciate the offer. Next, I have Seema Lalsh. She is a sister to me, and I've known her for 20 years, if not more. And she's a partner at our law firm. So, Seema, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks. I don't call He-Man, I call him Himanshu. So I'm gonna call him that because that's the name he was given when he was born. So I like to bug him about that. So thanks, Himanshu, for inviting me. This is my first time joining TiE, and I'm very excited to be a judge for this competition. I can say that entrepreneurship, the concept of that, I would say probably in the last kind of 10 to 15 years is really an idea that has been now encouraged. It used to be, I'm dating myself a little bit, but it used to be, the goal of getting a degree and then getting a job at a good company, becoming a good employee. That sort of was the traditional trajectory. But I think things have shifted in the last 20 years or so. And I'm happy to see the emphasis on entrepreneurship and encouraging young people to actually look at building their own ideas and building their own businesses, because at the end of the day, that is when you're going to be the most successful. And so I did start off similar to Luke as an employee at the firm that I'm still with. I've been there for almost 21 years now, and have been a partner for the last 11. And in that role, there is that entrepreneurial background to my position, other than the day-to-day sort of legal work that I have on my desk to deal with. There is the added responsibility of looking at how to promote the firm, bring new business, network, meet new people. And so no matter what you end up doing after you complete your schooling, whether you end up opening up your own business or joining a company, the entrepreneurial spirit and the skills that you've learned in this program, I think, will be valuable to you for the balance of your professional career. So there is no specific path for anybody. I'm humbled to be amongst other judges who have, taken that risk of striking off on their own and starting their own businesses. That's something very laudable. But if that's not the path for you, there are other ways you can make an impact and be an influence, even within a company that you maybe start off as an employee of. So I'm really excited. I'm really happy to see the young students who are embarking on the spirit of entrepreneurship at such a young age. I think it's so important. I'll just end by sharing a small story. I have two boys, a 10-year-old and an almost 6-year-old. And recently, my 10-year-old and a couple of his friends got together and started a nonprofit called Art for Charity. And I mean, it's not a registered nonprofit, but the three of them got together and have created art, and they've been selling this art to their family and friends to raise money for BC Children's Hospital. So where he got that spirit from, I'm not sure. Maybe from his uncle Himanshu, but it is something that should be fostered at a young age, and I think it can only serve you well no matter which path you take in life. So thanks again, Himanshu, and I'm looking forward to the presentations today.
Thank you, Seema. Appreciate it. Reza. So Reza, I met at Product Camp, I believe, many years ago, and we've had the opportunity of staying in touch. Reza, actually, would you call that an exit, Reza? Maybe speak to your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, well, it is an exit. So good morning, everyone. Thank you, Himan, for organizing this event, and all the people behind the scene that organized this.
Yeah.
Super excited to be here among such successful judges and future entrepreneurs of our city. Super excited to learn from you guys, from your presentations, as well as see what you've been accomplishing in the last little while. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Iran, moved here when I was 13. I graduated from SFU with a computer engineering degree. That's hardware engineering. So I've always wanted to do my own startup, and starting a hardware company from scratch with no money was very difficult. It still is very difficult. It's gotten a lot easier. So that's why I switched to software, because I knew where I want to be heading. So I've been in the industry for, I was in the industry for about 10 years. And then after that, we started Beanworks in 2012. We have grown it substantially. We are now at 100 employees, and we just sold the company to a European partner called Quadient. So it is an exit. I'm still, we're in the integration phase and figuring out how we could join our forces to build something bigger. That's all about me. And I'm now doing investing and advising to other startups in our city, and trying to pay it forward to all the people that helped us when we were in need, when we had no idea what we were doing, where we were going. So that is definitely the attitude that would grow the entrepreneurship in our city and will make us the next Silicon Valley. Because the reason Silicon Valley is Silicon Valley is because they have like 10 or 20 years ahead of us. They had like a few exits back in the days, like for example, HP and such. And then all that money went back to the other entrepreneurs in their local environment, and just keep growing and fostering entrepreneurship life in their cities. So what I want to see is the same thing happening in Vancouver, because that's how we will foster a better community and better society. Super excited, as I said, to be here. Congratulations to all you finalists. You are, I'm not sure what the, like, is it a first place or second place or whatever, but just the fact that you guys have taken your Saturday and are coming to this event, the fact that you've put in so many hours at such a young age, at grade 11 or grade 12, I believe most of you guys are in. I think you guys are all, you will definitely be successful in the next 10 years. You will definitely, the fact that you know you are, this is where you want to be going, and you're putting your time and effort in it, you will succeed for sure. So congratulations to all of you guys in advance, and super excited to see what you guys are here to present.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Reza. What an exciting story too. I mean, by the way, just a quick clap on your exit. That's awesome. Very good news. You know, you'll notice today in some of these presentations, the students will present you an idea. We may even ask you for money, and they might even give you an exit strategy. So I'm sure, you know, as you're starting this, you know, you are thinking to yourself, how am I going to make this money, and how am I going to make other people money, and then exit out if necessary, right? So really looking forward to the presentations as well. I am going to now introduce Cohen. Cohen is, oh my, you'll see his presentation. Cohen has been a regular. He has attended every single session. I'm so proud of him. And Cohen, please go ahead with your presentation.
Okay. Something that I learned in TYE is that it takes a lot more than a good idea to make a successful business. That idea you came up with has to be unique, or if it's not unique, you have to make it different so consumers will buy it. You need to put a lot of hard work and planning into your idea to make it succeed. In entrepreneurship, you can't do anything halfway. One of the best things I learned in the course was if the idea doesn't pan out, no matter how hard you try, just let it go and try to come up with something else. As the saying goes, 2 heads are better than 1, and 2 people's resources are better than 1. It is very important when you start a group project to discuss the strengths and weaknesses of each group member. This will allow for each member to contribute as best they can. You need to work well with a group if you want your project to succeed. Something that is especially difficult for me because I have autism and my brain isn't wired to make the complex social interactions that come easily for most humans. It is harder for me to work in groups because I often like to be left alone doing my own thing, but I am working on it. Regrettably, since I have autism, I am less flexible to ideas that are not my own or ideas I don't like. One of the most important things in any business is you need money to pay off your expenses such as rent, staff, and investors' interest. Getting the resources for your business is possible with investors. Investors can be anyone like bankers, family, friends, or just people who with cash you burn. They won't give you money. You need to make them think they'll get double their investment. Something else I learned about business was all the legal mumble jumble that I didn't realize was necessary, like patents and business attorneys, in order to protect your business from other businesses. One idea I have is for an alcoholic beverage called prison wine. It's basically fruit wine, but I thought it would attract attention because it's a funny name. Note, we are not selling it in prisons. The ingredients include various fruits and yeast and does not require that expensive distillery equipment that most alcohol beverages require. All in all, I think the most important thing I learned from this course was how important it is to work well in a group. I think TYE has taught me some important life lessons to prepare me for adulthood. I wish everyone good luck in the presentations.
Thank you, Cohen. That was
You're welcome.
awesome. Appreciate it. It's so well said. I feel like you have basically summarized the entire TYE experience in your 5-minute presentation. So appreciate it. Like I said to you before, I want to actually take that presentation you wrote. I'm going to put it on our website for next year's students because that's the exact definition of entrepreneurship, and I think you got it all. So
thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Cohen. Excellent. So judges, I wanted to now move forward with the 4 presentations. I hope you have your, wow, I'm exactly at 10:31. This is amazing. I hope you have your forms, Google Forms ready. Please do go through the questions. Try and just read the questions once so you know what you're judging on. And yeah, if you could please score the students and then provide your comments, that'd be appreciated. I will share your comments after with the students as well for their information. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Yes, I'm going to make sure that everyone is able to share. So I'm going to go stop. Oh, no, not my video, my sharing. There you go. All right. Yes, you want to go ahead and share your screen and start when you are ready.
So Nicole, yeah. All right, hello everyone, and thank you for giving us your time today to present to you our service, YES, which stands for Youth Empowering Services. As a young adult, do you want to expand your skill set and gain work experience to build your resume? As an entrepreneur, has COVID-19 caused a lack of support for your business? As an investor, would you invest in a service that could benefit both small businesses and young adults? YES is a service that provides a solution to account for these needs. Our service is the bridge between passionate youth and local businesses around British Columbia.
Um,
What?
sorry, we ran into a little bit of an issue there.
Okay, sorry, Nicole, would you like me to share my screen instead?
Sure, that would work better, I think.
Okay. Sorry, everybody.
That's okay. It happens to me every time we present.
Okay. All right.
We are the YES team. My name is Johannes Racho. I'm a grade 11 student at St. Thomas More Collegiate in Burnaby, and I am the head of operations for YES. Alongside me are Katrin, Nicole, Tony, and Caleb. Do you guys mind introducing yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Katrin. I'm in grade 12, and I go to Walnut Grove Secondary, and I am the head of finance.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Stein, and I go to Little Flower Academy. I'm also currently a senior, and I'm the head of sales.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tony, and I'm a grade 10 at West Point Grey Academy, and I'm the co-head of product development.
Caleb's not here, so it's okay. Okay, when COVID first hit, I believe that most of us noticed that we had more free time. Well, when I first realized it as a teenager, I was really bored. I wanted something to do. I wanted a job. However, finding a job was difficult because not many stores were open to hiring. I wasn't able to find a job until my grandmother introduced me to her friend Gordon, who's the guy on the top right, um, who was looking for workers for a small business called Wing Wong Nursery. The area is located along Marine Drive in Burnaby, and it wasn't too far away from where I lived. So I worked part-time as a cashier, and I helped around anywhere I could. I carried merchandise boxes around, I watered the plants, I tagged merchandise, I manned the cash register, and I got hourly pay in exchange. More than the money, I learned a lot of things about managing a business, working with other employees, and handling customers. I even got to learn a little bit about the perspective of how small business owners felt when the pandemic first hit. I asked Gordon about how the pandemic affected his business, and he told me that he struggled with finding workers, services for a store, and getting merchandise in. This experience led me to the idea of creating a service that connects both teens like me looking for jobs and small business owners like Gordon who need help. In fact, there are many small businesses in the greater Vancouver area. Just look at the map. Due to COVID-19, many businesses have made their products accessible online. Majority of them are small and starting from scratch. They would highly benefit from having the support of extra employees to help them with duties such as stocking shelves and packing. There are three problems that we intend to solve through our service. We provide help for small businesses to adapt to the post-pandemic market. We are helping teenagers to find jobs locally, and we are helping people gain access to services while also giving an opportunity for people to promote the service that they can offer. You might be thinking, isn't this the same as any other job board? No, it's not. Most of the people that recruitment companies hire through job boards are people that can work for them for a long period of time. These companies are willing to give people all the training that they need for a certain role because they hope that you can be a long-term asset for them. Whereas you'll notice that one of our differentiating factors over our competitors is that the jobs young adults can get through our service is temporary. This is huge because, like Gordon with my experience from Wingwong, small businesses prefer workers that can work part-time and temporary, no long-term commitment. Also, there are many teens and young adults that only want to work in the summer and not to do jobs where tasks do not require lots of training or knowledge or prior experience. Now I'll pass the spotlight to Catherine.
Thanks, Johannes. We, the YES team, are committed to growing local businesses through youth empowerment and being that bridge that can connect eager youth, and businesses seeking for assistance. Our team interviewed 10 plus local businesses such as George's Gourmet Meats and True Aromatherapy Products in Langley, BC. We recognized a pattern of common problems among these small businesses. We recognized that local businesses struggled with new restrictions due to the lack of people. Local businesses struggled with lack of predictability, and even before the pandemic, local businesses needed to get more noticed than the bigger competitors. Through our service, we're providing various solutions to these problems. Our digital platform connects youth and business owners easily, which may be more difficult due to the pandemic. Through YES, small businesses are able to recruit employees through digital networking. We are working in a two-sided market. Small businesses who are seeking assistance and young people who can provide their services without prior experience. As a team of young students, we know the type of people who we are recruiting, where to recruit, and how to recruit them. Youth can not only provide their assistance in typical work duties such as stocking shelves and packaging, but they can also offer their skills in digital marketing, design, and photography.
Now, before we go on, we'd like to give a big shout out to the TiE team and to our mentor, Ashay Gupta. He really helped us by advising us on how to attain market validation and how to market our business to resonate with local population. And he also suggested that we can create a model of how our service works, which really helped us as he basically told us the structure of our presentation. And he also came up ideas for our funding and revenue, which was really important to the creation of this presentation.
So when you go onto our app or website, the first thing that you will notice is our sign up. Once you make an account with your email and password, you will be presented with a choice. You have to choose whether you are a business owner or a young adult. If you choose the I'm a business owner, then you have to fill out the name of your business, the services that you need, contact name, and contact email. After you sign up, you can make your profile where you can display everything people would need to know about your business, address, what people would be doing if they work for you, and what does your store look like. Now, let's say you chose the I am a young adult option. Once you fill out all your information, like your name, your skills, and your information, the skills you can offer, and your contact information, your account will be ready. You'll be taken to a page where you can see all the local businesses in your area that match your skill set with what they are looking for.
So for our business model, we will mainly be earning profit through advertisement. What this means is that our service will be free for small and local businesses and teens and young adults. Our advertisement will mainly be geared towards local businesses, for example, like banks, financial services, credit card companies, etc. And for teens and young adults, we'll be mainly gearing towards things like gadgets like phones, games, food, and snacks.
You must be wondering, what does YES have to offer that our competitors like BBB and Upwork don't? Well, YES aims to boost the local economy and connect our community during these unprecedented times, and also aims to help both teens and young adults alike who are looking for a way to contribute in their community. One thing that really stands out about Yes is that compared to our competitors, our fee is much, much lower. In fact, it's completely free. We are aware that small businesses, adults, and teens are already struggling financially, and we want to help them bounce back from the pandemic by offering our services.
We based our costs off the website howmuchtomakaanapp.com, a website that estimates how much an app will cost to create based on your options. On the stimulator, we declared our app to be free and accessible on both Apple and Android. It will be interconnected with our website, meaning that people will have to sign up, make an account, and be able to access this on both the website and the app. We also give the option for users to review our app because there's always room for growth. The estimated total for our app comes to about $70,000. We also have to take into account the costs for advertising on social media, how much it would cost for domain and hosting fees, printed flyers, and incorporation fees. We also plan to work from home using our existing devices to avoid office space rentals.
All in all, an approximate estimate of how much it'll cost for our startup would most likely be $80,000. Our revenue is primarily coming from ads, sponsorships, and maybe some donations. As of 2020, and according to Facebook, the average cost per click for employment and training ads is $2.72. Since there are about 1.5 million people in BC that are under 24 years old, and just if 1% of that statistic clicks once on ads advertised on our app, then we will make $40,800 in sales in our first year. Assuming the cost per click increases every year with the rate of inflation and with the target percent of the population increasing as the years go by, then not only will we be able to recover our initial startup cost by year 2, but our company would have an opportunity to be big within the next couple years.
Now that we've established our costs, the question is, how can we get the funding for our startup company? First off, we will rely on our investors. We hope to get 70% of the costs covered. The rest of the 30% will come from personal savings and bank loans. Although it may not be dependable, we'll still try our luck and apply for business grants, especially since the government is willing to support small businesses. We hope to be granted around $20,000 to $30,000. We can also apply on Innovate BC to potentially receive up to $200,000 by essentially doing a demonstration of our app.
Given that the service is free, selling such a valuable service to the small businesses and the youth is a no-brainer. Even so, we still plan to advertise locally through our school announcement boards, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. We will also distribute printed flyers and manually hand it out to the local businesses and at school, and we will also try to leverage word of mouth and referrals.
So, how will the Yes team monitor our growth and progress as an emerging business? There are definitely a couple ways that we are going to be monitoring our growth, and that is both quantitatively and qualitatively. So quantitatively, we're going to be watching how our total money in transactions is growing, if our net profit is going up or down, and how our growth pattern is related to other similar businesses. So are we growing in a linear pattern or exponentially? We will also be watching for our social media engagement and seeing how many emails, subscribers we have, as well as lots of other key metrics.
Judges, Canada currently does not have the service provider for local business that are as good as ours. Our business allows for us to target local businesses and get the teens like Johannes paired up with the right business for them. We want to expand our business out to BC and into Canada in the next few years if this works well. And even after the pandemic, we want our service to still be the go option for small businesses and for people looking to provide their service. However, there will always be a possibility of selling this company to a bigger player in the market. So once we make it into a big business, we'll consider going around and selling our shares.
I'm thankful that I got to meet and work for Goran of Wingwong Nursery. To this date, I'm able to get a part-time hours on the days I'm not at school and get paid while learning practical skills. More than that, I'm grateful to see such an amazing business opportunity that would extend my experience to the rest. Uh, sorry. More than that, I'm grateful to see such an amazing business opportunity that would extend my experience to the rest of the youth community, which includes my sister, my friends, and my schoolmates, and my YES team. I know my parents are proud of how I'm studying and working on the side. To our investors who happen to also be parents, you may want that for your children. Lastly, I read somewhere that the secret to building a successful business is to build a community. We, the YES team, believe that youth and small businesses is a good combination. So join us in this venture and we look forward to your investment.
Lastly, just to answer a quick question, can teens really work? So with this, employers need a written consent from a parent or guardian, PDF, around 20 KB, and children who are 12 to 14 years old cannot work.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your time and for giving us the platform to be able to present our service. And we would like to open up the floor to any questions that you might have.
I have a couple.
All right, good job, kids. Judges, go ahead.
It's Gotham. Hey, that was really excellent. Wonderful idea. Fantastic idea. And you really articulated many parts of it very well. So congratulations on that. I completely understood it right from the first 2-3 slides. And as you went through it, it was very, very well laid out, very well thought through. So 2 questions. One, it seems like it's a seasonal business. And have you thought about what happens off season? And the second is, you chose an advertising model where other models could be chosen. And I think you may think about subscription models for businesses. You may even think about charging people when they get their first job through your system, right? Because I think people may want to. Teenagers may be fine with paying a small amount once they get their first job. So both those questions, the seasonality, if you could tell me a little bit about if you thought about that, and second, why did you choose advertising?
So we chose advertising because we didn't really want to charge small businesses and youth just to go on our app, right? Because it'll discourage them from trying our service. So by making it free, it'll be more they'd be more encouraged to try it. And with the advertising, because small businesses they want services a lot of services from banks and big companies, right? So if they can get maybe if they go on our app and see that these advertisements are there, and they'd probably click it. And for teens, they a lot of teens like clothing brands like Nike, Adidas, those ones, and maybe some electronics too. So it's a high chance that they'd click on ads if they were to see that through our app.
And sorry, just to add on to that, advertisement is also a crucial thing because we chose advertisement in order to expand. And once we gain a good foothold of the market, then we can consider the subscriptions and things. But before our product becomes well known, we believe that the only way to beat our competitors is to actually allow more people to actually come to our platform and test it before we actually put out subscriptions and other things.
Yeah, just keep in mind, advertising is distracting and it takes people away from the primary activity that you're trying to push them through. So just keep that in mind.
And to answer your first question about seasonal, so basically what our product is doing is that we're matching people who want to work either temporary or sometimes permanent towards these small businesses. So we don't believe that it'll be like a seasonal, because there'll be many people going on at different seasons. For example, like during winter, let's take example of Bob, for example. Bob wanted to work at a grocery during the winter. So he goes on our platform and we patch them with the grocery store. And during the summer, maybe Aline, for example, Aline wants to work for the nursery. And then so she goes on our app and applies for that. So we can match different people at different seasons at the same time, either temporarily or permanent.
Thanks,
Up to the
guys.
question. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Luke.
No, Reza, go for it.
Yeah, like really great presentation. Thank you so much. You guys definitely communicated the problem that you're solving very well. So thank you for that. I think in your pitch, you did mention advertisements. I think you can maybe emphasize a little bit more how you will be making money. I appreciate that you don't want to charge the users of your platform. I think that wasn't really clear to me. How you mentioned advertisement, but how are you going to advertise? What kind of revenue do you think you'll make from those advertisements? A little bit, maybe like explain that a little bit more in your pitch. And also, have you guys built the app yet, or is it just about prototype stage?
It's at the prototype stage.
Prototype stage. Okay. Yeah, I was Googling it. I couldn't find it, so that's why. The other thing is, given that there are a lot of temporary jobs that are getting placed, it's really good to think about some sort of rating system for students as well as employers, so that people that keep getting jobs and switching between jobs, they could rate the employer, and then the employers could rate the students as well, so that they could get a more qualified, they could hire more qualified candidates. So those are just my two feedbacks on your pitch, but thank you so much. It was very well explained. Congrats to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll jump in and echo the comments from Gautam and Reza. You guys did a fantastic job laying out the story. I felt the pain point and how you're addressing it was very well articulated. I was with you guys the whole way through, so congrats. First, just a quick comment. If you go forward, I encourage you to downplay the elements around the pandemic. You seem to speak to this as the primary or a very significant thing as to why the platform might be valuable, and I don't think that's true. I think this is something that is valuable beyond this pandemic, beyond BC. I mean, you talked on that a bit at the very end, but this is a story that if it works in your beachhead market of the Lower Mainland, then it can work. There's no stopping this, and the scale of the platform is large. So it's a very large opportunity, if you crack the code, and it's beyond the time that we're in. So it's just to keep that in mind as you go forward. I echo Reza's comments and Gautam's in terms of the business model and how you're going to market. I respect the idea of allowing your users to leverage the platform for free. Small businesses are very cash conscious, and as are young students and youth. So I think there's some wisdom in that. As you laid out the advertising model, I got a little bit confused as to cost per click. So there's lots of also options inside choosing an advertising model. So a cost per click is very much like a Google search type of ad revenue model, versus Facebook, which is very much about much more about cost per impressions, cost per million, and highly hyper targeted advertising to a very rich pool of data that's available around your users. So I would encourage you to explore the details of that a little more and provide more clarity and color around the richness of the targeting that might be available to advertisers with the user adoption growing on the platform, and how rich that data could become for your business to leverage to advertisers in the future. I'm with Reza a bit. I felt like the go-to-market plan and it was a bit light on your costs associated with growing to your revenue model. I saw costs thought through about how to develop the app and how to get it to become something in the world. But I think you guys underthought what it's going to cost to get the business to a stage of scale where you have enough users on it to attract the advertisers. So I think that needs to be thought through a little more. As you go forward. I felt like that was a little bit, it was just lacking in the presentation. But outside of that, I think you guys have a great concept here, and congrats, like a great job on the presentation.
Thank you so much for your feedback.
Yep, thank you.
A couple questions from my end. So first of all, again, great job, guys. I think overall the presentation was great. I followed along. I really understood the problem. And I really do think the problem is something that's going to be important to address even moving forward. So, I would encourage all of you to continue pursuing this. I think you're really onto something. On the advertisement front, again, I think it's been kind of mentioned in the past. I don't want to talk about it too deeply, but I would say I encourage you to test your assumptions. So, you have some kind of guesses that you've made as to let's say click-through rate, or how many people are going to be on your website and how many people might view these ads. Just encourage you to test those things. So, if you do launch and people are going on your website, always continue to look at your numbers and say, hey, does this, match with what we thought was going to happen when we first came up with this business model? So, something like your click-through rate, like, if you have 20,000 people on your website, is it the same percentage you thought would click on ads, for example? And I think that'll help you quickly realize if you're on the right track or you're not on the right track. I guess the one question I do have is around the two-sided marketplace problem. So, it's kind of the chicken and the egg. If you get a business on board and you don't have students that are going to come sign up, or young people that aren't going to come sign up, then the business might never come on your website again. Same thing on the student side or the young, adult side, is if they come on and there's no businesses, they might not come back to your website again. And so how do you solve that problem of making sure, when I sign up to your website, there's enough on there for me to be excited and come back again? Do you go after businesses first? Do you go after students? Or, is there some combination there?
Sorry, is that a question that you're asking?
Yeah, so have you thought through that go-to market of, how do you attract businesses or young adults, and do you go after one before you go after the other, or do you go after both of them at the same time?
Oh yeah, same time. Like one way we can get it known to like students at first is like through like talking to school boards, and one way we can talk to small businesses about it is maybe just like contact them and see if they want to try it.
We already contacted some small businesses, the 10 businesses beforehand that we said in the start that were interested in this idea. So we already got sort of like a start on the businesses, and we can promote more to the student side by just, for example, like what Johanna said on the school board.
Awesome. Yeah, I would totally encourage you to just monitor, how many businesses to how many students are on your website, and making sure that number is kind of always matching as you try to grow.
Yep.
But well done, guys.
I know we're at 11 o'clock, but I'm just going to chime in here and echo the remarks of my other judges in terms of the presentation itself. I think you guys did a really good job in terms of putting the information together in a very simple to understand and easy to follow format. And your oral presentation as well, I thought was very well done, and it flowed quite nicely in terms of the actual presentation skill. That's, as a lawyer, that's something I'm keenly aware of, is the presentation side of things, which is as important as the content itself, which I thought was quite good as well. One sort of comment, there's been some discussion already, and I won't follow through on that as far as the revenue model, which is based on advertising and being able to offer the service free to the businesses and the young adults who might be looking for positions, which I think is certainly a sensible way to at least start things until you have a tried and tested model. One sort of thought I had, and I wondered if you had thought about it, is perhaps some additional paid services that might be down the road, something you might want to look at offering, like actually offering the businesses who may not have time to actually interview the students or actually meet with them, but maybe offering a service of actually doing a little bit of their homework in terms of determining which is the best candidate for them, and offering that as a paid service, not a free, or on the student side, helping with preparing their resume or like a CV, or something that they can then present to prospective employers, because a lot of students may not have experience in putting together any sort of a formal document describing their skills. And again, that might be something that could be offered as an add-on paid service. And I just wondered whether you had thought about kind of some ways you might be able to expand the services that you're offering your clients.
So this is more like subscriptions that we talked about before. So basically what we're doing is that currently we're starting off as a free one. So like currently we're free and available to everyone to grow a customer base. And after we have like sustainable customer base, so in our first stage of a revenue model, we will go on and probably to add in more services like what you suggested over there, which is included in our subscriptions. They can pay an annual amount of money and then we can help them with the services like interviews, with the students like finding stuff like that, finding qualified. We can actually do the qualified services for them and things like that. And that'll be more of a later on, but currently when we start up, we will be a free business.
Perfect, thanks so much.
All right, so that concludes the judges, and yes, team, great work, good job. And we can clap, guys. All good. We can unmute and clap and mute back up. So thank you. If I can please request the judges to submit their feedback, that'd be much appreciated. I will give you, let's say, 2-3 more minutes. If you could please submit it so that we can move on. I don't want you to be distracted when the new presentation starts. While you do that, I will let the next game share team to start sharing their slide deck and get ready. We'll start in maybe, let's say, 3 minutes. I'll just keep a lookout on the judges' scorecard, and then we will start right after. Just waiting on 2 more. And then we'll get started. All right. Game share, you have the floor. Good luck. Here's some feedback. Okay, there we go. Go ahead.
I walked into EB Games, my local video game retailer, to sell my video game Madden 21. I had purchased it for $80, but EB Games would only pay $9. How does a video game lose $71 in less than a year, I thought. Later, I walked into the store and saw my exact game being sold for $30. I was puzzled by how they sell it for a $21 profit. There has to be a better and more reliable way. Hi, I'm Rahul, and I play Madden 21, Apex Legends, and Valorant.
Hi, I'm Hitanch, and I play Overwatch and Apex Legends.
Albert.
Albert, we can't hear you. We have feedback. Perhaps I'm wrong.
Yeah, you things like.
All right, Albert, do you want to try and dial in?
It's
Your mic
just like
does not work.
static.
Yeah.
Yeah. Invite. Copy invitation. Okay. Albert, I've put the dial-in information for you. If you can dial in. In the meantime, whoever's sharing the screen can continue while Albert dials in.
That's Albert sharing the screen.
Yeah.
Okay, so Albert, you can share the screen and dial in, please.
Heeman?
Yes.
Possibly that he can't hear you too on this side. Possibly.
Who can't hear me? Someone cannot hear me?
I don't think Albert can hear you because I don't think he's responding to what you're saying. Oh, you can? Okay, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, I just muted Albert because he has feedback.
Is anyone else on the team able to share their screen?
Albert has the most up-to-date PowerPoint with him.
And he has 2 laptops using at the same time to share, so.
Yeah, we'll give it 1 more minute, otherwise we'll get the next team to go, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah, so sorry. When we were practicing before, his mic was working just fine. I'm not too sure what happened.
Yeah, just until this morning it was okay.
Is it working right now?
Finally, yeah.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Yes.
We hear you, Albert. We just can't see you. At least I can't see you. Perfect. All right, go ahead. I'll restart your timer.
Okay.
All right.
Let's restart from the first.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start over. Thanks, guys.
All right. I walked into EB Games, my local video game retailer, to sell my video game Madden 21. I had purchased it for $80, but EB Games would only pay $9 for it. How does a video game lose $71 in less than a year, I thought. Later, I walked into the store and saw my exact game being sold for $30. I was puzzled by how they sell it for a $21 profit. There has to be a better and more reliable way. Hi, I'm Rahul, and I play Madden 21, Apex Legends, and Valorant.
Hi, I'm Hitanj. I play Overwatch and Apex Legends.
Hi, I'm Albert. I play Valorant, Counter-Strike, and Call of Duty.
Hi, I'm Youngdo, and I play Valorant, GTA, and Civilization.
As you can see, we are all gamers, and we are the founders of GameShare, the best place to buy and trade video games. Our mission statement is to make buying and trading video games reliable, efficient, and affordable. We will do this with our revolutionary website. During this presentation, we will cover our problem and solution, the market of our business, our competition, revenue model, and the growth of our business. I will now pass it over to Albert, who will be explaining the problem we are tackling.
Currently, there's no platform for gamers to sell, buy, or trade video games with satisfaction on both sides. Selling, buying, or trading between someone you know, like your friends, is a possibility, but there are limits to what you can do. Retailers like EB Games provide low offers for pre-owned video games. Here's an example with the popular video game Madden 21. To buy a brand new Madden 21 in store, you would have to pay $80. But if it's pre-owned, EB Games would buy it for $9 and sell it back for $30. If you don't like these big retailers offering base prices for your video games, you can always go for eBay, Craigslist, or Facebook community pages, where it's common for people to not receive their products or receiving broken or damaged video games, so that won't work. What we're saying here is that there's no reliability in most of these marketplaces. Sure, eBay has money back guarantee when you don't receive your product if your product has a problem. But is that what you really wanted? You'll probably pay the $15 to enjoy the video game, not to go through all that hassle. And Hitanj will be talking about the solution on behalf of all of us.
We want to take that hassle away from you. The main reason to choose us is ease of transaction and reliability. In just a few clicks, you have your dream game bought. We are the first to come up with a platform for gamers to trade, buy, and sell their games reliably and easily. We let users post their game for a reasonable price, depending on the game and its condition. Once the seller has sold their game, they get a chance to gain back the original value of their game. Not everyone is willing to pay $80+ to play a new game every month. With our low prices, it makes it cheap as well as easy to get your favorite game. We provide a platform to make transactions easily, whether that's buying, selling, or trading games, and make it affordable. Pictured on the slide is an actual photo from our website's user interface. Our target market is youth and teenagers aged from 12 to 19 years old. Most gamers are aged from 12 to 19, and as most people this age don't have full-time jobs, they aren't always willing to spend $80+ on a new video game. And from personal experience, the four of us know that asking your parents for new video games never works. Teenagers live busy lives, and in our busy lives, we aren't always able to get down to our local video game retailers to get games. YouTubers and streamers and their audience will be a large part of our market and a key way to tap into it. YouTubers and streamers are large influencers, and they will be essential to helping us reach our market. Youth and teens are just our target market, but parents looking for a gift for their child or anyone at all is always welcome on our platform. Once we came up with the idea for GameShare, it was essential that we did our market validation to see if this was a platform that others were willing to use. We started off by just asking friends that we played with, and an overwhelming amount of them said that this is a platform that they would use and needed to be created. We expanded our search to quickly put out a survey on Discord to ask 200 local gamers, most of which also said that they would use our platform and that there was a need for it, and that eBay and other marketplaces were often unreliable. Our market validation research has so far stayed local, but with such a large need locally, it is a platform that can easily be expanded to Canada and beyond. I'd like to pass it on to Albert to talk about market size.
GameShare is starting small and local in British Columbia. However, in the future, when we stabilize our service, we're planning on going global. According to meetup.com, there's a community for over 2,000 gamers in Vancouver only, which will be our main target customers in the start, and 23 million gamers all over Canada later on. Now on to Youngdo to talk about competitive advantages.
Thank you, Albert. Compared to others, GameShare has various advantages in the market. Although we might not have popularity or money like other e-commerce giants, we take advantage of local business and be more customer friendly. We are the first company to make online marketplace exclusively for games and gamers, which gives us advantages in taking the portion of the market. We also provide user incentives and is also easy to use. Our website is very simple and divided into different parts accordingly to the types of consoles. Similar to eBay, we have a profile ranking system as well. The ranking system will allow users to choose sellers with good feedbacks and reduce the risk of getting scammed. Last is the reliability. GameShare is reliable by buyer protection checklist we have. Buyer can check the chart we provide after receiving the game and confirm everything is working fine. Also, local business, we're easy to approach and we can hear our customers' opinions more easily. Some of our competitors include eBay, Craigslist, EB Games, and Facebook Marketplace. Our platform is similar to eBay or Craigslist, an e-commerce website, but exclusively for games, just like EB Games. GameShare is the result of combining the pros of two different styles of platform, and it is more easy, efficient, and customer-friendly. We also provide the appropriate price range and trustworthy sellers. The photo on the top right side of the slide is PS4 Call of Duty Modern Warfare listed on eBay last week, which is approximately 130 Canadian dollars. This price is not appropriate for the market. It is even more expensive than the newly released price of the game, and there's a high chance of being a scammer as well. Unlike them, GameShare provides acceptable price range without the risk of getting scammed. Now, I'll pass it to Rahul to explain about our revenue model.
Thank you, Youngdo. So to be on the platform, you do not have to pay. You can view what other people want to sell and trade, and it is also free to interact with sellers. We plan on having two sources of revenue streams through this service, which is advertising and a percent taken off each sale. The percent we plan to take from each sale is 10. 10% will allow us to gain a fairly healthy profit on sales that are lower and sales that are high in value. There are many ways we plan on expanding our incoming money streams as well. So when we start our business, it will be local and eventually we plan to expand. The goal is to first expand to all of BC and then expand to other provinces. The end goal will be to have it in all of Canada and other countries with a high demographic of gamers. Through advertising, we will try and make YouTube ads specifically to gaming channels whose viewers are a part of our target market. Later down the line, we will talk to actual game developers so we can create an exclusivity deals where the games can only be bought exclusively from our website. This will also tie into the future of gaming, which is digital codes. Digital codes can only be used once, so if we have an exclusivity deal, they can send us digital codes that we can sell directly from our website. Besides games, we will expand our business by selling other hot commodities in the gaming world. These consist of consoles, controllers, action figures, sponsored drinks, and so much more. We believe the used game market has so much untapped potential that can truly be owned by our website. Before we continue, we would like to thank our mentors Sagar Saxena and Sean Caldera for guiding us through this process. Thanks to the both of you. I will now hand it over to Atanch, who will be talking about our financial projections.
Thank you so much, Rahul. In the first 2 years, we will be spending a large amount of money and resources on advertising and reaching our market. Once we are able to build a market, we will know and we will be able to expand into more forms of revenue that Rahul mentioned before, such as exclusivity deals. And that is where GameShare starts to see higher volumes of profitability. An e-commerce website can be set up for as low as $500 a year. With this knowledge, our expenses in the first 2 years will be 80% advertising and back down through the years. The rest is spent on website upkeep. There's currently no platform for gamers to buy, sell, and trade their games reliably with satisfaction from both sides, the buyer and the seller. We want to fix that. Our goal is to make buying and trading video games reliable, efficient, and affordable. Thank you so much for your time. Please direct any questions you have towards me, and I will address them to the appropriate team member.
Well, I guess I can start again, unless any of the other judges would like to start. I started last time.
I can kick it off then if you want. First of all, good job
Sounds
on the
good.
presentation,
Perfect.
guys. Obviously a problem that's very personal to you, so I think that's a great place to start. And obviously I think drive that you'll need to see this through. Two questions for you. One is, are you concerned about the market size shrinking over time? So, I feel like a lot of platforms now are moving towards digital. So you have Steam, you have, PSN, Xbox, who are trying to sell as many games as they can digitally, and some of the new consoles don't even have disk drives. So does that play a factor in how you see the market moving?
So I think I'll actually pass this off to Rahul to talk about it in more detail, but our platform is based online. So a seller would list their game online, and then it would be bought fully online. There would be no store or anything in the early stages. And then Rahul can go into more detail about where we see it going into the future when games move digitally.
So when games move digitally, like I said, we were trying to make an exclusivity deal, but that would be later down the line. There's also a need for vintage games. It's like a vintage market. You know how the vintage games can sell for a higher amount of value. That could definitely be something that we target. We have games for 3 consoles right now, which is the Switch, the Xbox, and the PlayStation. But old consoles will definitely try to hit that market eventually.
Gotcha. And second question would be, how do you avoid scammers using your website to sell empty cases, for example? Do you actually receive the product before you send it out, or are you just connecting the buyer and the seller?
So this is a question I'll actually hand off to Young Do to talk about.
So the scammers are first, when the buyers receive the product, they're going to have to write the checklist and a survey for us so that they can ensure that the product is all fine and working fine. If there's no product, we're going to contact the seller, and seller has to put a deposit, a certain amount of deposit in our website. So we're going to take away the deposit, or we can also leave a bad feedback so that the seller cannot scam anymore.
And then just to add on to Young Do's point, a similar thing here would be StockX or GOAT, where sellers also would have to put a picture up of the game physically in the, a physical copy of it, in the disk drive, working, and a picture of the box as well.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thanks.
I can go next. Yeah, great presentation, guys. Definitely, it solves a problem that you definitely have. And I guess my concern was around Sagar as well. What's the right now? What is the, what's the proportion of games that come with a disc versus games that are being sold online, like on Steam platforms like Steam? Do you guys have you done any research on that? And how's that ratio changing?
So we're focusing more with the console market currently, and Steam isn't on the console market.
Okay. All right, cool. So if it's excellent, but do you know how much are gamers spending money on console games versus on digital platforms? Where is that trend going?
It's fairly 50-50 still. It's a fairly even amount between console and PC gamers.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I really like the fact that you could potentially list your action figures. I think there's definitely a niche market for action figures, and maybe old magazines and such, to just have a exclusive marketplace for people that are passionate about gaming. I think that could be a big potential niche for you guys. But great presentation and great teamwork. That's all the feedback I had.
Yeah. So following up on Reza, guys. By the way, my 17-year-old son is a big gamer and a streamer as well. So he's always on Twitch, and my company actually built a lot of games and related products. So a few things. I think I kind of understand. You're basically eBay, but you're targeting games, right? And so I would so and I don't, please don't be discouraged by this, but it's there's you need to find a way to create a unique value proposition for people. Maybe it's a loyalty program, maybe it's something more than just the fact that you're eBay for games, right? Because I think gamers have loyalty, and I think gamers would really be in a place where they know there's other gamers and only other gamers, and they could relate to them, and then they could feel like, hey, I can earn points maybe to get more games or something like that, right, through your program. Because one of the and then the question is, how do you bring people onto your program when there's these massive eBays and other large organizations that have spent hundreds of millions of dollars in building their networks and their brand awareness and their the confidence that they give to consumers that this is a trusted model. So that's the question.
So to answer your second question on how we're gonna get our market, because we're targeting mostly gamers, streamers, and YouTubers, they often do a lot of sponsorship deals and just deals with companies. That would be a very big way for us to do that. And then I'll just pass this on to Albert to talk about a little more in depth on this.
Right. So as you said, lots of young teenagers like to play video games and then stream or watch other people, influencers, streaming their video games. And I'm pretty sure most people who play video games here would know that if you watch stream, especially very popular influencers like people on a professional team or something, you see them promoting different services or different products. Right now, there's this energy drink called G Fuel. It's a very popular energy drink for gamers, apparently. And we're planning on sponsoring the streamers to promote our services. And that's how we're going to allure the customers or the teenagers, especially, into our market.
I'll jump in, guys. Great presentation. Or Seema, do you want to go?
No, Luke, you go right ahead.
Okay,
this is a topic that's probably more up your alley than mine, anyway.
Well, it's been a while since I've been a gamer, but I know I love that you guys picked a a market that you're obviously all passionate about and engaged in. Because and I kind of maybe I'll go to my comment first. Then with this, that building a business is really hard. Any business is really hard. I guess one of the bigger things I got concerned about at the end was seeing your financial projections and 3 years to break even and 5 years to a place where the numbers, the financial projections seemed very small for me, and I know what it takes to build a business. It's pretty much all of your time, and your life is entirely consumed in building a company when you're the entrepreneurs doing it. And so I got a little worried about, would you guys make it that far for how little you saw in the future? So that's just a comment, is to just know how hard it is to build a company and the opportunity cost of your time and living where you're living. That was a bit concerning for me. So I just encourage you to go back to the drawing board on how and where you're making your money, so that the payoff is worth what what you would have to go through to make it a reality. Question I had, because I was a little confused around, like I understood that this is kind of very niche game, like eBay for games. I think it's great. I think you can it's an audience that's devoted, loyal. If you can really solve the problem, it's awesome. But I was a little unsure about first, how you keep prices fair. You spoke to how on eBay one of these games was being sold for $150 $50 or whatever it was, and you guys on yours, it was down here. So I was a little confused about how you do that when your users are using the platform. How do you keep prices fair in your point of view? Because that seemed to be one of your value propositions. And then, yeah, similar to what you've already spoke to, but how is it you're more reliable? So I did get that answer in a previous question, but maybe if you could speak to the prices one for me, that would help.
Right. So for the prices, there's actually a third-party website, which I can send a link for, and they gauge the market and put out prices. So for instance, Madden 21, brand new, $80. And they just look at the general listing of eBay and every marketplace, and that's where they base their price of, and that would kind of slowly gauge our price as well. If there is a game set up for a very unfair price, it would be removed. And Youngdo can also talk about this a little more, as well as Albert.
Okay.
So just to add on, like if we look at the auto trader market, it says there fair price, great price, good price, like that. And we're gonna list the products from the great price until the fair price and the overpriced. So the overpriced ones is gonna be in the last. So there's gonna be a competition between those, and by the calculation we get, we're gonna determine the fair price of it. So kind of the average price, so that the buyers can have a standard, and even though they're new, they can know if this is a good price or not.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
And then just quickly to add on, I think a better comparison or a little more closely is what we would like to relate to is StockX or Go, as they're a little more reliable through their checklist that they go through for sneakers.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'm not familiar with those, but yeah, that's great. Sounds like you guys have your head around it. So thank you.
All right, I'll round it off here. Luke, you actually stole two of my questions, which I had written down here, which is how do you control the pricing and how much sellers are listing the game, for which you guys have covered. On the issue of sort of the expense size and the expense side, I should say, and the revenue that you've projected. I guess one thing I didn't hear, maybe I missed it in your presentation, is during the question answer, you had indicated as far as promoting your website and driving traffic to your website and having people use your service versus the other giants. There was a mention of maybe using influencers to promote and provide sponsorships. What I don't think I heard is where are you going to get the revenue to pay those influencers? Because my guess is it's not a market I'm too familiar with, but my suspicion is that they're not likely going to be promoting your product for free. And so the expenses that you anticipate that you will be incurring to market and to get the actual website set up, etc. Maybe you can speak a little bit to how you plan on actually raising the funds for those expenses.
Yeah, so just to answer this a bit better, streamers and YouTubers, we tried to do our research on about how much they cost, and it varies so much from what they're advertising, how many viewers they get, or it's very hard to gauge it. But I think where most of the revenue would come from for this would be the friends and family marketing and fundraising.
Do you have a sense of what that range is in terms of the advertising? Because that sounds to me like it's going to be your best strategy as far as promoting yourselves and identifying yourselves as being, different or better than eBay or Craigslist. Just so I have a sense. I have absolutely no clue what the range even would be.
Yeah, absolutely. So a streamer who gets around 10,000 viewers on a stream can charge anywhere from $100 to $1,000 for a monthly sponsorship. That would be about the cost of it.
Great. Thanks so much, guys, and good job with the presentation.
Thank you.
All right. Excellent work, team. What a difference over time your presentation has. So this team pivoted completely. They went from a mug to a game share product. So amazing work, guys. You guys really turned it around. Your pivot happened, I think, 3-4 weeks ago. So well done, GameShare. If I can please request the judges to submit their scoring. All right, so in the meantime, while the judges are submitting their scoring, is the next team ready to go?
Yes, we are ready.
All right. GameShare, if you can please stop sharing your screen.
Can we share the screen?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Can we start?
Just one more minute, please.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just let us know when you're ready.
Yep, I'll let you know. I'm just waiting on one more. All right, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you, judges. Appreciate all the scorecards. Ball and reach, go ahead, please. All the best.
Thank you. Good morning, judges. I would like to start by sharing a story about myself. I always loved being involved, but as a newcomer, I have trouble finding volunteer opportunities in my local area. I spent hours researching, but without any experience and connection, I don't know where to start with. At that time, I wish there was an app that can connect me with organizations and companies directly. This problem continues today, not only for me, but for millions of high school students around the world.
Thank you, Estelle, for sharing. Volunteering allows students to give back and connect with their communities. Another reason as to why volunteering is so important to students is because we're taught from a young age to do good, and volunteering instills these precious values. Since volunteering is so important, especially for students, it is an obligation for students to complete the mandatory 30 to 40 community service hours in order to graduate. 40 hours is easier said than done because provinces and school boards don't provide any direct services or guidance to help students meet this requirement. That is why VolunReach exists today. We effectively connect students with their communities through volunteering. So let's meet the team at VolunReach. We are a group of individuals who have come from opposite ends of Canada to solve this problem. I, Christina, am the CEO. We have Estelle, the COO, and CMO, Lisa. I would also like to recognize the mentor and the people who have helped us through this entire journey. Firstly, our mentor, Ali, who has helped us guide us through this entire process. He's the co-founder of Achieve AI. Ms. Chapinski, who's the partner at the Delta School Board for Career Education, and Rita Kim, who's the CEO of Partners for Growth Advisory, along with Andrea Welling, the head of Futurepreneur. Now we'll have Estelle, our COO, go over our app.
Thank you, Christina. VolunReach is a mobile app that will help young scholars find meaningful volunteering opportunities. With direct partnership with school boards, students will have access to the app through their school domain. This simplifies the registration process and allows organizations to validate whether they are real students. Our app is easy to use. Students can sign in with their school email and set up their profile to view positions that tailor their interests. Additionally, users can browse opportunities in their local area that are suitable and available for teenagers. Upon completing the volunteer work, students will receive our certificate as well as testimonial from companies that they work with. This makes finding volunteer opportunities more efficient and effective. As for the registered organizations, we first check our government documents, such as WorkSafe BC. Next, we will conduct an on-site security check through a third-party organization to accommodate student safety and policy requirements. Once those procedures are completed, organization can post volunteer opportunities on VolunReach for students to view and sign up. We will also direct students through each school board to help mitigate some of the risks for companies. Joining as a member is beneficial not only for them to fill their volunteer needs, but also gain brand recognition. Thank you, and I will pass it to Christina to talk about market.
Thank you, Estelle. We have three main customers who are involved with VolunReach: the students, the school boards, and the organizations. In order to gauge the interest of students, we surveyed over 140 high schools across Canada, and overwhelming 95% said they want to VolunReach. Some even said they've been looking for this app this entire time. It would have been so much easier. While students are eagerly looking for legitimate volunteer opportunities, school boards simply don't have the time or the ability to bridge that connection between students and organizations. We have already connected with 7 school boards who have shown interest in VolunReach. We're open to further discussions. Our last target would be the organizations of all sizes to accommodate everybody. VolunReach provides organizations a great way to publicize their brand and reach out to the younger generation. This could reduce marketing costs and resolve the issue of finding volunteers. So far, 8 organizations have expressed their need for VolunReach. Ms. Chapinsky from Delta School Board has highlighted the importance of this transferable skill for high school students. Finding placements can be challenging, so by being able to connect students to organizations can be extremely valuable. Here we have 2 testimonials from Vancouver Pride Society and Canadian Cancer Society. They share similar viewpoints. It emphasizes the benefits VolunReach will have to provide nonprofits across the country. The inefficiency of this problem doesn't just stop in Canada. It reaches across North America, into the US, and even globally. The potential for the student user market reaches about 21.9 million students. And this is only counting developed countries such as Australia and the UK. It is important to keep in mind that students will always be required to complete community service hours because of the valuable experiences learned from volunteering. Now on to Lisa, our CMO.
Thank you, Christina. Our 2 lovely high school students named Jason and Anna are looking to get involved in the community. They're worried because they need volunteer hours in order to graduate in Canada, and they don't know where to seek volunteer opportunities. Originally, we wanted to use a website to endorse our service. However, we decided to pivot after looking at competitors and validating student opinions through our survey. Students prefer to use apps rather than websites because it is easy, it is efficient. The approach of websites are not useful towards students because they're mainly designed for professional use. Therefore, this pivot was necessary to better tailor to the students. Lastly, the differentiating factor of VolunReach is the fact that we are able to directly reach students through school boards. The reason why students have not been able to effectively find hours is because the school boards do not have any system in place for us to do so. So now they can direct resort to VolunReach. Right now, we are contacting school boards through emails and phone calls, and we have received positive feedbacks already. Till now, 7 school boards have already shown interest. At the beginning of our startup, we reach out to organizations by emails and phone calls. However, that is the only of the start of our plan. Since we're going to partner with school boards, we will be able to reach organizations that the school boards already visited. Moreover, VolunReach is planning to advertise their apps through sources such as Google Ads in order to gain attention.
We are also planning to connect with Small Business BC to reach small businesses and establish a partnership.
The plan for Woolen Ridge over the few years is primarily to expand the brand to accommodate more students. As of mid-2021, we plan to launch the app and grow our community of students to 102,000. By 2022, we will double the number of students, and between 2023 and 2024, we will be looking to expand to our southern neighbors of America. So, by the end of 2025, Woolen Ridge will be in service to almost 1 million students. As per our sticking factor, we are currently in contact with the federal, BC, and Ontario government to see the possibility of scholarship fundings. In this way, students will continue to use Woolen Ridge even after completing their hours.
For Woolen Ridge, we have two main sources of revenue that come from school boards and partnered organizations. For school boards, the price we'll be asking is about $10,000 per school board, and this varies based on the size of the school board as well as the number of students associated. We came to the decision of $10,000 as other online databases that help students with career planning are 40% more expensive than Woolen Ridge. After speaking to the school boards, they spent 5 times the amount that we are asking. Our second customer are the companies and organizations. For each organization that we work with, we'll charge $80 one-time registration fee for them to use our platform and recruit volunteers. We are cheaper than one of the major online competitors, which is the annual subscription fee around $100. Most of Woolen Ridge's expenses will be towards developers, marketing, and the cost of third-party organizations to run background checks. But as you can see, the revenue grows at a steady rate, reaching over $1 million by the end of year 5. What is most notable on the slide is how Woolen Ridge is able to break even and earn a profit at the end of year 2. A healthy growth rate is depicted as the company continues to expand. So, what are we asking of you? We value your connections with companies and businesses. Since Woolen Ridge is built on the importance of community, we find it valuable that investors like yourself contribute to Woolen Ridge by registering the companies you're affiliated with. Now with Woolen Ridge, Estelle as well as other high schoolers will be able to efficiently, safely, and better connect their communities. We also want to personally thank Heman and Vic for all the time and effort which has been put behind the scenes to make it all come together, as well as the judges here today who have volunteered their time. Thank you. We'll take any questions.
Thank you, team. Good job. Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead, judges.
I'll start off this time. Great job, guys. I thought your presentation was very well prepared. The slides were colorful and drew me in. So the visuals I thought were very well done. So I do commend you on that because that's an important part as well. And I thought you broke up the presentation very well in terms of the 4 components that you spoke about. So great job with the actual presentation itself. I just have a couple of questions and they might reveal my age because it's been a little while since I graduated from high school. But I think you commented that there's a requirement for graduation to actually have a certain number of volunteer hours. Is that right? So that is something that all high school students actually have to demonstrate that they've completed a certain number of hours before they can be eligible to graduate? I just wanted to understand that.
Correct. So in BC, I believe it's 30 hours, but then here in Ontario, it is 40 hours. And these are required hours in order for graduation.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead, Lisa.
Student, I had to complete 30 hours of volunteer work during grade 12, which is a really busy year. And I didn't do it in grade 11 and past years because I don't know where to find opportunities. So I have to really spend a lot more effort and time to find out opportunities in grade 12. And yeah.
Perfect. And then one more question, just so that I can understand sort of how the different players or participants in this this service would work. So you've got yourselves and then you've got the school boards. And your revenue model was, I think, reliant on, in terms of the main source of your revenue, just based on the amount involved, is going to be from school boards paying an annual fee of $10,000 to have access, I guess, to this service. And I'm just wondering, what would motivate a school board to actually pay that $10,000 annual fee to your service to allow students to then access and be connected to different organizations? What's the kind of the market proposition there, or the value add there that you can offer to school boards that they don't currently have?
So currently there's no system in place for students to actually find those hours. So right now, the students will go to guidance counselors or go to administrators and ask, where can I find opportunities? However, the school board can't provide a solidified website or any app which will help students find those hours. So for us to be able to promote this app for the school board, they can later promote that to the students, because there is no system in place. And moreover, they don't have the time or the ability to be able to find those opportunities for students, because currently they're using a teacher who will go out to each organization and verify it and validate it, which costs about $50,000 after talking to the school boards, and that is much more expensive than the price we're asking, which is 20% of the $50,000.
All right, great job, guys. Thanks so much. Those are my questions.
Yeah, hey, I guess I'll go. I thought it was excellent. Great presentation. I know the problem you're solving. Again, I have teenage kids, and I completely understand it. I don't think there's, and you explained it very well. The couple of things. One, selling into school boards is a long process. I know that because we actually have helped a couple of other entrepreneur teachers that have built some software for the teaching environment, and they've been trying to sell it into school boards for the last year or 2 years, and it's much slower than they thought. So have you? So the first question is: have you accounted for that delay and lag? To get school boards, to accept, a new product, which I think is a great idea, and I think it does solve a problem. But have you thought about that at all?
Yes, we have. Currently, we're in contact with Delta and the York Region District School Board. They have brought up concerns of, because one of their biggest factors that they consider are the students, right? One of the larger reasons to why it might take so long is because of liability and student safety. So I've been able to voice, Ms. Chepchinsky has been able to voice her concerns for the app, and we have tailored and pivoted in order to accommodate the school boards. So then once we get school board, the rest are pretty cookie cutter, and we're able to acquire many more.
That's great. And the second thing is just, again, the thought. What you're actually doing is you're helping build out the student's profile, right? Which is, as you apply into universities, in different parts of the world, that profile is really important. So consider the integrations into other systems, that you could then provide, and then they would actually be quite encouraged to use your software as well, and then they would promote it as well for you. Because they wouldn't, there's other software out there that builds profiles, and I think your software could ultimately, through an API or something, provide them, that information to build that profile. So I think that could be another avenue for you. It's a great idea.
Definitely.
And if you'd like to speak to those teachers that were trying to launch software, and I still are, I'd be happy to connect you, and you can get some advice from them.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that you also see the problem and are supportive of our solution.
I can go next. Yeah, great presentation, ladies. I will reiterate what Sio mentioned. Very nice slides and very good presentation skills. And I like the prototype of your mobile app. So congratulations to you guys. Yes, for revenue model, take Gautam on his offer. It's probably I've never sold to any schools or government, but I'm sure it's going to be it's going to be tough to penetrate. But I think once you go in, it will be easier to sell to more schools, I feel like. stick to your recurring revenue model. I know you mentioned you only you charge $80 per organization. Just make that $80 per organization annually so that you have like money coming in. So that's not a one-time fee. It's great that you've reached out to school boards and you were thinking about getting your app certified, because this is definitely a problem that exists. I know when I was in high school, I had to do the 30 hours. I had a very tough time finding a job. And even as an adult, I want to do volunteers right now. Like volunteers, it's really hard to find organizations or like connect you to people who want that they need help. So it's definitely a problem that exists that needs being solved. So maybe eventually you could do it for either extend this app to support adults or have a separate app that runs in parallel for, I think, just volunteer in general, not just students. So yeah, very good presentations, and good luck. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, again, I guess just reiterating a lot of what's been said. I think very clear problem, very nice slides, totally got the message across. So well done on that. I think the only comments I would have is, so on the business model, you mentioned 10K annually for a school board. Do you know how many school boards are out there?
Yes. There's about 60 in BC and 72 in Ontario. Those are our largest targets, as they're larger provinces within Canada. So, but here we have a Samsung and TAM of the school boards. This is only counting in North America. However, there's other policies globally.
Awesome. Okay. And sorry, was this in the main deck or was this an appendix? I may have missed it.
Appendix, yeah.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. So I guess the next comment was just, I guess there was a disjoint between the market sizing and the revenue streams. I think market sizing you did per student headcount, and then all your financial models are now based off of number of school boards. And so next time I would say if you're pitching this to investors or whoever it is, maybe try to link those two closer together, because I think number of school boards is more impactful to, I guess, how much revenue and what your potential is, but also obviously very good to know how many students are out there that it impacts. But overall, well done.
Thank you for the feedback.
I'll jump in here and commend the group. I thought you guys did a great job presenting and echoing Seema's comments around the deck. Beautifully done, and yeah, you got some good design and brand aesthetic. So kudos on that. And then just something that hasn't been said, but I'll share is like I thought you guys did a great job with kind of the extent to which you've surveyed and done your research. I mean, it really came across the effort you put into all of that work to try and understand what you're addressing here. So commending you for the effort that's come through in your presentation. Kudos. Vic worked for Onyx, which is the company that Vic had founded and exited, where I worked with He-Man, and maybe this has come up in previous classes through this program at TiE, but Onyx sold to educational institutions as one of its primary markets. And to echo the comments here, they can be challenging to get into for sure. But one thing that's unique about that market is that they're non-competitive to each other. And when you really provide a solution for a school system or school board, they tend to share that information with other school boards because they're non-competitive to them. So you might want to consider just a slower road at the start in your forecasting, but when it snowballs, if it really catches on, this is a market that will refer you to the other school boards. So there's a potential for rapid scaling at a later stage. I think the questions around why a school board would come on was asked, so that I was having some challenges around that as well, because it seemed to me that you needed to build up the database first to then make it compelling for a school board to want to fund this for their for their school. So maybe the question that I had around that, if you could answer this for me, is once the school board adopts it and then provides, I assume that means they then provide the access to all of their students. Do I have that right?
Yeah, so to ensure, for example, the students, we had each school board has their own domain, right? Their own email address, which verifies the students, saying that they're real students. So in that sense, the school boards do have a large say in it.
Got it. So then my question is, because it seems to me like you're leveraging that to build up the user side. Why? I'm just wondering, have you thought through the challenges of the other, because your other pricing model was $80. Was that per year or per?
Yes, no, that's a one-time registration fee.
So in the absence of having students in through the school board model, why would they, pay to have their, can you help me understand how you guys think that through? Because it seems to me like you're trying to get user adoption using school boards, but then you're also selling that you have users.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So another point was like simultaneously, right? Because you have to have a balance between students and then balance between the organizations. Because if there's too many organizations and then they can't find placement, like they can't find volunteers, and vice versa with the students. So one of the reasons why you decide to partner with the school boards is because they have their own networks, right? They have their own networks of organizations, which they've already vetted and that are already verified. So by using that first, we are able to already engage in the student market. Then later we're using marketing fees to further it and try to get into organizations as well.
Yes, just to add on, it's more about like a two-end need. Both like students will want to like find volunteer opportunities, while the organization still want to recruit student volunteers. So we can like with our app, you can like fill the needs of like both sides, and also like organization can help them like publicize their brand. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Great presentation. Well done, you guys.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else want to go? We're good. Good job. Thanks, team. Thank you, Christina, Stella, and Lisa. Great presentation. And yes, I do echo that working in education is very challenging, but if you do really well, it could snowball very quickly for you. If I may please, as two more judges, I'm waiting on the scores for, so I'll wait for that. Take your time, please. In the meantime, if I can please request Upnia, I think I'm saying that right, Upnia, to share their screen.
I'll try. It wasn't really working last time, but I will try my best. It says I just have to rejoin really quick. So can I like leave the meeting and then come back in? And that should work.
Sure.
Okay, 1 second.
Perfect. There you go. Just give me 1 second, Dina. I also want to say hello to all the YouTubers, the YouTube live folks. Thank you very much for watching, all the parents and families. I hope you're enjoying the show. I call it a show. It's not a show, it's a competition, but it feels like a show. Just checking here. All right, I got all the judges' scores for ball and reach. Thank you very much, judges. Ugnia, you can go ahead and start. All the best.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We all really appreciate it. So to begin, let's start by defining what our company name means. So Ugnia means normal, good, unlabored breathing. It's the natural breathing pattern in all mammals. So I invite you guys to all begin by taking a deep breath. Release all that stress that may have came from your busy week. And let's remind ourselves where we are in this present moment. So all take a nice deep breath and just kind of relax. Now, this is our product, Ugnia. According to the National Alliance of Mental Health, 1 out of 6 youths experience a mental health disorder each year, and 1 out of 20 adults experience serious mental health each year. Wanting to make a change to that, we've decided to create a safe space for everyone to express themselves and go on their own healing journey. This is our team. My name is Dina Sariogulam, and I'm a grade 12 student at Alcuin College in North Vancouver.
I am Tanner Hoffman. I'm a grade 10 and attending St. Alcuin College as well.
I'm Meiko Ng, and I'm a grade 11 attending Killarney Secondary School.
My name is Lucas Edmonds, and I'm a grade 10 student at Alcuin College.
My name is Daniela Bailey. I'm a grade 11 student at Point Grey Secondary.
My name is Alexander, and I am a grade 10 student in Windermere Secondary.
We are all high school students who are inspired to make a change in the mental health world.
Although there are a variety of resources out there to help youth dealing with the scale of mental health issues, there's no one organized space to find or be directed to immediate to long-term solutions. Everyone has experienced stress in their life, whether relatively small and short, or on a larger scale dealing with diagnosed mental health issues. The hardest part of dealing with these issues is most commonly reaching out for support, especially if help is complicated to obtain. A large portion of the time, it's because of a mental block that prevents one from seeking help. It's not well known that on the road to recovery, relaxation, de-stressing, etc., there are many different paths to take. Public versus private versus online mental health care can be confusing. It's important to find credible information on how to deal with these issues, as well as having the ability to try many different options within one source, such as our app.
Our product will benefit students by monitoring their mental health and managing other problems that have heavily impacted their lives. It is a subscription-based app allowing students, like teenagers, to speak their thoughts and let out any stress or anxiety that they have built up. It is a safe and stress-free environment allowing students to feel welcome and accepted. It is where you can talk about your troubles with other people, practice guided meditation, and feel supported by a community of fellow members who will support you along the way. It is cheap, affordable, and most of our services will be free. Ugnia will prevent teens from hurting, feeling stressed, or even temporarily being unhappy.
Our overall product theme is based on mental health. It is an app that provides unlimited access to mental health guidance for people who want to be guided throughout their meditation without needing to have a paid subscription. This app also provides resources such as articles, books, and that addresses mental health issues and tips on fixing them. There will also be resources to book mental health counselors if needed. In addition, there will be a daily mental health checkup to asking about the consumer's day and what they can reflect on to do better the next day. Finally, there will be a paid subscription where consumers could possibly gain more specific targeted meditation guidance, like for example, schools causing anxiety. The app will recommend meditation guidance for more specifically targeted for dealing with anxiety from schools. For additional services, we'll also provide exercises for the brain in the form of mini games. So overall, our purpose of the app is to help people develop a good mental health.
We've reached out to professionals and our mentor for advice and asked if they are willing to work for Ugnia. Our mentor Duani Patel, the youth counselor of Douglas College, Wang Hongying, and the principal of Alcuin, Stella Alblet. Here's a quote from them. I think an app made for the youth to actively look for help is a good step in helping people with mental health issues. Most people with mental health issues don't have a lot of people to talk to, so allowing them to express their emotion is a very good way to help. They are very supportive toward our action and are willing to join us. Our goal is to help people through their toughest time and be there for them at any time, anywhere. Help them figure out their way before it is too late. Be the shoulder for people to cry on and the ears for people to complain to. Checking what is going on in their mental health and identifying the struggles. Since we know all of us need someone to be there for us to walk us through our failures and difficulties in life. And that's how Udmia is created. This is the mock-up of our app, Udmia. Everyone can take out their phone right now and scan this code right here to try out the mock-up of the app. For our app, we'll require logins to secure their information and a choice to stay anonymous at most time during their use of the app. There are booking for counseling booking, which is a subscribe feature, chat for asking us questions, call us for further information and confirmation for bookings. We provide different links of meditation videos for selections and introducing meditating to people. We'll also have different types of quizzes for checkups. We include mental health related articles for spreading more information and knowledge to every user. The content page also includes a music theory section, which we use Nikola Tesla's music frequency theory as a reference, 432 Hertz for meditation and 1 to 8 Hertz for relaxation and sleep. We added a social platform feature where people can also share their side of their story and make friends to share their problems too. Last thing, our About Us page is where we share our side of story and let people reach to us. Social media for the newest update, contact information for questions and answers.
Through word of mouth from various members of our school community, we have seen the need for an app like ours. Various students we spoke to expressed that they deal with stress and anxiety almost every day. According to the Google form we sent out to 27 people, 14 out of those 27 are currently struggling with their mental health. 12 out of 27 people said they're willing to download Udmia. And 16 out of 7 are willing to pay $1 to $5 for additional features. Here are some quotes of students we spoke to from grades 7 to 12. I would love to use this app. I feel like it would help me manage my stress, especially around exam season. I like the resources that are going to be listed in the app. They answer all my questions about mental health. Having this app on my phone can help me during those times I don't have anyone to talk to. With Udmia, users will feel more connected and supported through the app. It will provide the necessary resources so no one needs to feel alone.
Our main focus is made by youth for youth. An average customer would be in high school to early university, dealing with a lot of exam, extracurricular, household, or even friendship issues. Even on a smaller scale, with one test coming up, Udmia can be helpful for this teen. Looking on a larger scale, there are many other features of the app that can help with that as well. There's no one specific severity of mental health issues that the app is specified for, but rather a safe space to de-stress and feel comfortable reaching out for help. Our customer profile is a 16-year-old high school student named David. David has a part-time job with a moderate income, as well as being a full-time student with exams, sports teams, and friends with similar issues. David is a good listener and always tries to help out his friends, but this can suppress his own issues and pile up on his own struggles. Udmia can help him individually through the struggles and ultimately feel more comfortable talking about them, which is another path to take in the journey.
Our target market for the app that we have created is directed towards youth in high school ages 13 to 19. A majority of teens struggle with stress and anxiety, and most of the time they find it difficult to reach out. Creating this app will help students who struggle with their mental health. Upnia will create an outlet for those seeking help. We want to create an app made for the youth by the youth.
Our marketing strategy is to first spread awareness about mental health and educate people on further details. Then for the product part, we're letting them figure out the way of using the application and find a way that the application can be useful to them. Providing more features through optional subscriptions that are reasonably priced and consistent updates and upgrades for features and of the application for loyalty, plus reaching out to schools, to people on social media. We will also be branching out to universities for sponsorships or promos to help bring more users to the app.
Currently, our top 3 competitors are Calm, Headspace, and Balance. They're all meditation apps that have the same goal as our app, which is to help people with their mental health. What we have discovered is that other competitors, especially Headspace, only allows around 5 minutes of free meditation every single day and are only limited to a couple of meditation guidance videos. Our competitive advantage is that our consumers do not need to pay a premium subscription when using our free meditation guidance. This is especially good for consumers who don't want to pay for a subscription due to low income, but want a high quality product. Another thing that separates us from competitors is the ability to connect with others. Connecting with others during a time of bad mental health and realizing that you're not alone is crucial for maintaining a good mental health. None of our competitors have a chat function like our app, Upnia. Although all our competitors contain resources for mental health, consumers using those apps are only limited to mainly resources such as relaxation stories and articles. We provide resources to book a mental health counselor and even exercises to strengthen the brain.
The expenses of our app will come from 3 major areas. 1, design of the app, 2, superior app development, and 3, clever marketing. So first we have our functions and our features. So for user login, for the simple username password combination to conventional social media logins, to secure 2-factor authentication systems, most apps have some sort of login. So the time is around 20 hours and it costs $500 to $1,000. For monetization schemes, in-app purchases, shopping carts, and payment integration are all separate features with their own development costs. Messaging, vital for social media apps, the ability for users to communicate and interact with one another is a project on its own. So this will take around 80 hours and $2,000 to $4,000. And then for push notifications, if we want to have the social media part, it's gonna cost 100 plus hours and then $100 to $10,000 it'll cost. So this is a rough expensive breakdown for our first 4 years of operation. So you can see we have revenue at the top, and then our developing costs, our marketing costs, and our wages. And then we have the total projected expenses here.
Our income. So our income will come mainly from ads within the app, as well as sponsors in the mental health community. We will also offer an in-app subscription service, which will generate another source of income. We will also be utilizing the government and the Bell Let's Talk campaign, since it fits our goals and message revolving mental health. One thing I want to note is that our app will not be limited to anyone who doesn't have the subscription, which is kind of what our competitors are doing. So
thank you for listening, and we're bringing back to the moment with a short music therapy.
All right, team. Good job.
Does anybody have any questions?
I feel so much more calmer. Judges, please go ahead.
I guess I can kick it off. I mean, beautiful presentation. I think very well done, and I mean, visually very appealing. And obviously, I think a problem that's close to home, and I'm sure you and your peers are, have talked about this, and clearly from your surveys, you've gone pretty deep in this. So well done on that. I guess something like the chat function, is that something that you would want to make available to everyone, even if they're on the free model? And I guess who's on the other side of that chat? Like, who are they chatting to?
Yes, it will be available for everyone that downloaded our app, because this is like basically a social platform for them to share their side of story to anyone in general if they want to. So basically an outlet for people who can't like have like a person to listen to them for like their side of story. So it's like basically like a social platform for them to share stories where everyone can see it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So for the financial projections, I think what I would have liked to see is a breakdown like per user and like where that revenue is coming from. I think maybe you're underestimating some of the costs involved, like having a chat service for a lot of free members. Let's say you blow up to 1 million members. Will the users that are being charged, will that be able to actually financially support offering features like chat, for example, to the free members? So I think that's one of my concerns that maybe is worth looking into. And then also something like relying on Bell or government as a long-term strategy. I think like to get maybe some quick funding at the beginning, that would be easy to do, but I guess I worry about the sustainability of something like that.
During the main like work developing of this app, we'll also have sponsorship from different people. For example, we've reached out to schools, Culin School and Killarney, and asked them if they would like have like possible sponsorship or like willing to help us, and they all said like, yeah, this is a good app to actually take part in, for them to take part in and like care for their students and like teenagers and around the school. So that's also one part of our revenue.
Yeah, like a third
And
to come in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like a third party to come in with a sponsorship or donation. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. And so if you're going to rely on something like that, I would just encourage you to think through that a little bit more. Like, are they sponsoring you yearly? Are they sponsoring you one time per student? Any source of revenue that you expect, you should definitely have, a finger on the pulse in terms of exactly what that looks like and how that materializes over the course of your application. But again, well done, and obviously targeting a problem that's getting bigger and bigger over time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll jump in next and commend you for the presentation as well. And personally, just say this is a topic near and dear to my heart. I mean, in my youth, I was in a deep, dark, suicidally depressed in my youth, and I dealt with that in almost complete isolation. And at that time, I found out about a company called the Teaching Company that was providing courses recorded into MP3 formats, and I spent hundreds of dollars listening to kind of fourth year university courses about various philosophers from the past, existential philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche and Jean-Paul Sartre. I kind of did my own minor on my own time in philosophy to help me through that time. So something like this, I'll just share this, something like this would have been, I mean, back then apps weren't really a thing yet, but a tool like this would have been would have been amazing. So I just think the problem you're solving is so important, and personally can connect to it. So kudos, and amazing job presenting the idea and the competitive landscape. I'm with Sagar a bit. I would have loved to see a bit more detail into your revenue streams. I mean, I think what you're thinking here is advertising model for free users. So I'd like a bit more detail about how that's going to be driven and what revenue you see from that stream. I also didn't see what you would charge paid for users and why someone would move from free to paid, because you seem to kind of lay out against the other apps. I'm also familiar with these apps today. I do mindfulness practice regularly, and I do waking up with Sam Harris. So I'm familiar with these apps, but compared to them, why would someone pay, and what are the bells and whistles of the paid subscription versus non-paid? I would love to see more detail around that. So I don't really have a question about, maybe if you wanted to speak to that, by all means. I'll just end by also just letting this team know that I made a donation to through my company Our Town last year. At the onset of the pandemic, there was a lot of things going on in this world, and we all are, I think, mindful of mental health being one of these areas that's gotten worse, and it was already in a bit of a crisis stage at the start of 2020. It's only become more of an issue. Anyway, I made a small donation to the Canadian Mental Health Association on behalf of my company, and as a result, ended up in a relationship with the CEO of the Canadian Mental Health Association. So if that's a person, anyone on this group wants to meet and have a conversation with, share this app with him, I'd be happy to connect you to him. So what I'll do is I'll put my email in the chat here. And if any of you wanted to email me, I can make that introduction for you. I'd be happy to do that. So.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.
And also, as for why people would choose to move to actually paying for our app, is that we provide actual online counseling, like a series of counseling for them to actually get straight in meditation and counseling if they actually need dire help. So that's one of the main reasons why they would choose to pay instead of staying in a free app situation.
So, and then just a follow-on question. That's great. Thank you. Is it thought through? Are you passing some revenue to counselors in the app is that part of your expense line then?
Yes, we did include wages in our expense breakdown, and yeah.
All right. No, that's great. Okay.
I just wanted to add on, thank you so much for, opening up about, your story and stuff. I can only imagine how difficult that must have been. And I think for a lot of students who are struggling, kind of that self-isolation is a really common theme that we see. So, and nowadays it's everyone's kind of glued to their phone. So having kind of that resource just really there, and, just having someone to talk to, kind of in your own personal space, not really needing to go out of your way to find someone to talk to is really beneficial, especially for students. It's just, it's their whole self-confidence thing, and not wanting to be vulnerable is also a factor. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Great job, you guys. Thank you.
I can go next. Yeah, so great presentation. Thank you guys. Great teamwork. Definitely a problem that's exists and needs addressing. There are a lot of, especially given the pandemic, there's a lot more people, given that they have social distance. This problem's gotten bigger. So good for you for tackling this challenge. You are very well aware of your target market, what other students are facing or going through. So I think that would definitely be a key advantage to your team in winning in this industry, because I know there's a lot of other companies that ever since the pandemic started, they started getting into the space on mental health and providing this kind of support. So I know there's a lot of companies that are doing this, but I'm not saying that to discourage you from continuing it, because competition is good, when there's a lot of competition, that means there's a lot of demand. So keep going at this. Yeah, I wanted to see a little bit more details about how you'll be making money, and a little bit around, again, some of the points that other judges brought up that wasn't really clear in your presentation. So that's an area you could definitely improve. And how did you come up with your costs? A little bit more detailed breakdown of like your costs. And the other thing that I also was thinking, this is like a much tougher reach to get to, is I'm not sure if it's even possible, but I think if like counseling fees are ridiculously expensive, $150 an hour up to $200 an hour, that they are being mostly covered by people that have insurance. The insurance usually cover them. So if again, I'm not sure if it's possible, but somehow you could get qualified that insurance could pay for a monthly subscription if it's like $40 or $50 a month, and insurance could cover it. I think that would definitely be something that it would reduce the barrier to entry for your paid or your premium subscription.
Yeah, I'm actually, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the organization, The Foundry. They are a youth kind of clinic on the, I'm not sure if they have any locations in the downtown east side, but I know on the North Shore they do. And they basically provide, free counseling, medical resources for students and teenagers. So I think that's an organization that we would be working very closely with, and also reaching out to kind of see how they're operating and maybe implement some of how they're operating into our app as well, and also work with them. Also, I know you were kind of talking about how there's a lot of people doing this and kind of trying to tackle this problem. I think something that really sets us apart is, who knows what youth is struggling better than youth? Because mostly these apps are being developed by, people a lot older who aren't necessarily aware of the struggles that we are facing, especially with social media and kind of all the stuff we have to deal with on a daily basis. So having that insider opinion and having that insider look, I think is something that really sets us apart.
100%, yeah, and like I mentioned, use that to your advantage, because as you said, a lot of adults are building this app, so definitely you can know what students are going through. So good job.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else you want to go? Are we good? Excellent. All right. Well, I know we're a little bit over the time, and I know some of you have other plans. So appreciate everyone. Thank you very much for all the hard work. I'm just gonna wait for like maybe 2-3 minutes, and we'll go through the scoring. In the meantime, if anybody wants to say anything, please feel free to chime in. I just wanted to say, while we have this few minutes, everyone works really hard. I saw the change is amazing from last year, not last year, last week. You guys really took to heart some of the feedback that the pre-final judges provided. And, all your hard work did shine today. So very well done. Good job, guys. Appreciate all that hard work you guys did. Thank you. Yes, please. Anybody else want to say something?
Yeah, maybe you could talk about how many teams started, and when did they start, and that these are guys that are the finalists, maybe, because I'm not really familiar with that program.
Yeah, sure. So, this is our 10th year doing it. We had about 25 students. We went down to about 20 students, happens every year. Students drop out towards the end. We had 5 teams, and then one team kind of dissipated into other teams, and things come up, it's expected. So there's always a little bit of drama that happens in the background that we have to handle, but it's always fun. this is business, right? At the end of the day, if you think about it, we all have to adapt to the changes that come along in life. And just like a startup starts, you'll have 5 founders sometimes, it will turn into 2 founders. And same thing here happened. You know, people started with one idea, then kind of adapted. They created their pitch decks and their even their 1 paragraph pitch. You'll notice that it changed completely over time as they tried to validate their idea with their peers. So it was very interesting how that all works out every year. So this is my 2nd year doing it, Reza. I've had a chance to come in the past as a mentor and as a speaker to help out. But yeah, I also wanted to encourage everybody to share this with your network. There's a lot of students out there who could really take advantage of this program. So hopefully you guys will help us share this. And I just want to extend this invite out to all the mentors and the judges for next year as well, because we will continue doing this. All right, so let me just check the scoring and see if we have everybody's feedback in. The anticipation must be killing you. All right, thanks, Aditi. I appreciate that. I see it. One second, everyone.
So while you're crunching the numbers, He-Man, I'll just
Go ahead,
go into the next next steps. So this is a global program. It's run in 26 cities around the world. So Vancouver now will pick our winning team, and then our winning team will get further mentored, and all students are welcome now to help our winning team. So we'll probably arrange a couple more Zooms between now and mid-June, when we'll virtually go to the TYE Globals. In the past, we've gone to many cities. So we've gone to Boston, Atlanta, Washington, D.C., Seattle have been host cities in the past. And Vancouver also was a host city. So we hosted the TYE Globals back in 2014. So it goes around from city to city. And now in mid-June, we'll have our winning team go to the Globals and we'll compete for the 10th year. So we're excited about that. It's going to be a couple more mentorship sessions for the winning team. So that would be really cool to have everyone engaged and everyone rally to support our winning team, including all of the TYE students. You guys will all get an invite to participate and flesh out the final idea. I do want to just emphasize that what we've seen is this giant leap between the practices and this competition, and then almost an equally giant leap when it comes to the team going to the Globals. So all the feedback that you got from the judges today is actionable. So it's really actionable. So it's real good feedback to take to the Globals. So that's the iterative process of continual improvement. So we're gonna have some fun, and the fun's not ended yet. Thanks, He-Man. Hope I bought you some time there.
No, I appreciate you filling in, Vic. I always love that. We always tag team. Perfect. Yeah, so before I announce the winner, I just wanted to say once again, for all the mentors, I don't have Sean's picture in here. Sean is from a gaming company. I forget the name now. But Sagar, thank you very much for bringing Sean on as well for the game share. Ball and Reach, Ali, thank you very much for that. Yes, team Akshay really helped out with that team. And Uknia, Dwani, great job. I see all the internal communications in the back end, and really appreciate everyone taking the time out of their busy schedules to spend time with our students and to help them really sharpen their presentation. So it was very, very clear to us that all these mentors were helping out in the background. And I hope you guys will come back as judges, mentors in the future. To our team, Vic, thank you very much for everything that you did and all the countless hours that you've spent over the 10 years keeping this program alive and getting folks to get really passionate about volunteering and teaching and learning about entrepreneurship. Li Ju, thank you very much for all the help that you have always done in the background. We can't do this without you. And Aditi, amazing work. You put the slide deck together. You did all our social media, all our student communication. There's a lot that happens in the background that we all got together as a team to continue doing as volunteers. So, one thing I can say, I apologize for all the last minute stuff that we do sometimes, but we're always trying to catch up and make sure that we have an awesome presentation and an awesome workshop for you every weekend. So with that, I wanted to announce our winners who will go on to the global competition. And the winner is Ball & Reach.
Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Good job, team. Good presentation.
Congratulations.
Way to go.
Thank you, Colin.
Congrats.
Any last words from the judges? Luke, Seema, anyone?
Yeah, no, I'll just say congratulations to Team Vol and Reach. It was, as a judge, I can say all 4 presentations I was very impressed with. Again, I forgot for a moment during the presentations that you guys are high school students. Like, honestly, I thought, the level of professionalism and maturity that you all demonstrated in your presentations, both the visual as well as the oral, were beyond. I'm trying to imagine if I would have been able to do what you guys did when I was in grade 10 and 11, and I'm not sure that I would have those skills. So I do want to say, I think all of you are ahead of your years in my books in terms of where you're at with your kind of professional skills as far as presentation. And Team Vol and Reach, I think you guys are well on your way to having an edge at the global competition. I thought your presentation was very polished, very professional. You answered questions amazingly. So I wish you all the luck at the next step on this for you guys.
Thank you very much. We really do appreciate some of the kind of progress as we've been working and kind of going back with our mentor. He's here today, Ali. So that's kind of, it's always been kind of like a collaborative effort, as you will.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
if I may, just, the team, you guys did a fantastic job. Really proud of all the work that you've done over the past several weeks. Continue to evolve, take feedback on board, putting in a lot of hours and time and reaching out to students and school boards and organizations and coming together, all of us, to practice your pitches and refine them and really being open to taking feedback on board. I've just been super impressed by the entire team with your hard work and creativity and all of this. So congratulations and good job.
Yeah, I'll commend everyone in these were all great presentations, great ideas. Everyone, I think it's a cliche, but you guys are all winners here. You know, it's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's what you do with who and what you know. And you've all got a bias toward action, which is an essential entrepreneurial trait. This is such an inspiring group of people. You guys should all be incredibly proud. And congrats, Vol and Reach. Way to go. Great job and good luck going on to the Globals. Looking forward to seeing where it ends. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go next as well. Yeah, congratulations, Vol and Reach. Great, great product, great presentation. But yeah, I'll echo what everyone other judges said. Like, you guys, like the fact that you've put together this presentation, you've practiced, you've thought about your product, you've talked to your customers, you've done forecasts what your revenues are going to be like, what your expenses are going to be like. This is real life experience running a business. So you are well ahead compared to your peers who were or compared to me. I don't know what your peers are up to where I was in high school. You're well ahead and you definitely have a head start on being successful entrepreneurs. So congratulations to you all and best of luck at the next stage of the competition in TYE.
Thank you. We really do appreciate all the feedback. If you judges have any more like criticism or constructive criticism, it'd be great if you guys could send it our way, so we can build and refine and and build it bigger than it already is.
Happy to.
Yeah. Sagar, can't hear you. Technical difficulties. Nope. Try now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Success. No, I just wanted to echo a lot of what the judges said. I mean, congratulations to everybody. I think the only thing I would like to say is I encourage everyone to not stop at the slide deck. A lot of great ideas here, a lot of great work that's been put in, and a very real path forward. So, again, biasing to action, I encourage everyone to continue to pursue these. Regardless of if you fail and you don't see it to the end, I think you'll continue to learn a lot. But there is, definitely a lot here that we saw in these presentations that I think would justify, again, continuing down this path and actually trying to deliver a real product.
All right. With that, team, great job. We're going to end this. Thank you for coming and being here. Great job. And we look forward to the global competition. Take care, everyone.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.